Hey y'all, Big Wooly here, and welcome back to episode 32 of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. So today we're going to work on finishing up the fabrication matrix multi-tier structure, and then I want to go back to space with you guys to set up my matter receivers in both space and space station, because if I'm reading all of that right, it seems like we get the space station for free in this pack. So we're going to need to go there for some other things, but without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we worked on some of the parts for this in the last one. One of the things that is super simple to make that we need to make together, because we haven't done it before, is vibrant quartz glass. So that's just glowstone dust, which we happened to need this many of, 7, with the quartz glass that we've already made before in the middle. So that completes that portion of our task for the vibrant quartz glass. The next thing we need to make are tanks, which we already have. We made the energizer together. So now we need to make this iron plating, which I'm going to make 2 of these. And then the steel plating is what we're actually after. And how many of those did it say we needed? Steel plating, we need 16 steel pillars, which is a 1-to-1 on the plate. So we need 16. So we need 2 of these. And then if we clear this out and do that, that should get us the 16 steel pillars that we need. We've made our tanks already. Okay. What else was in the list? We need a mechanical mixer and our fabrication matrix, and then we can set it up. Okay, so let's grab out a mechanical mixer. All the create stuff should be back in this bag again. There we go. And let's head out to the spaceport. Our schematic cannon should be right here, and since it is, let's just put this right over next to it. We should be able to look up fabrication matrix, I think. Fabrication matrix. There we go. And then we need this. Oh, gotta do it again. Okay, fabrication matrix. Apply that. And then if we put our stuff here in the chest, should have everything it needs. Now we need to tell it where to put it. Let's go about there. And fabrication matrix. Oh, wow, it holds 1.5 MFE now. Sweet. So that is set up. This is what we needed for a couple of things. We're going to need to get power to it. I wonder if I can just... Can I just send power to that with a GPS data card? Let's find out. I got all 3 rings completed here. I did have to add another diesel generator to spin it, but we are still net gaining force-infused biodiesel, so it is fine. It took power. That should mean that it is good to go. Yep, it's taken power. So this was needed for crafting the quantum parts that we wanted to make, which we're not going to need right now, but we also need it to make this dust, which takes liquid force and silver dust. So let's go grab some liquid force and some silver dust, and let's get going, because this is going to get us into mechanism. The reason we're doing this is we need our osmium, and this is how we get to our osmium. And now we should be able to make this dust. So let's put our silver dust in. Can I just... All right, I'm guessing we can pipe this into here somehow. So let's do that. Let's go right there. Oh God, nope, that's not what we wanted to do. Let's get it out of tank mode. Okay, and mechanical pipe. You do not connect. Where can I input fluid then? Oh, maybe on one of the tank segments? This just... Oh, it doesn't feed it into the machine. Oh, interesting. Maybe we have to feed it into the fabrication matrix block? Well, let's get our fluid back out of this tank. That is interesting that it doesn't treat this like a multi-block. Let's go right here. Then let's see if it works piped into the front. Yes, so looks like we can only pipe into the fabrication matrix itself. Let's go ahead while this is running. We're going to go and craft up another centrifugal separator because we're using that one permanently for Spider's Eye currently, but we need another one. That's going to make us another one of these. Cool, it gave us 8 ingots and then platinum ingots. We make platinum ingots by infusing this with diamond in our metallurgic infuser. Okay, that was why I made a bunch of diamond. All right, so I have an extra metallurgic infuser that we set up right over here. So let's get this going. Diamond. And this stuff, you can just be smelted regular. Smelt you. There we go. All right, let's make these into platinum, which we then get to crush. That goes in there. Fill this thing up full of diamond, because I think it takes 60 per. Yep. So we're going to crush this platinum down. We're going to spin it in the centrifugal separator, and that is going to be our method for getting osmium. So this can be chomped and can be crushed in the crusher, but also crushed in our pulverizer. So yes. Crushing Spirit gives us 1-to-1. Pulverizer will be faster, so we can go do that. All right, got out our 12 platinum. I went ahead and just made us another pulverizer for up here, and we can probably set this up because we're going to need to auto kind of process this, and it's actually kind of, I think we'll be able to almost cyclically process it. Send it to the pulverizer, spin it in the centrifugal separator, and you have a high chance of getting your platinum dust back, which if we then smelt it, we could send back to the pulverizer. We'll work on getting all that set up in a more permanent manner going forward. We're going to let that crush. I'm going to go throw some more silver into stuff at the spaceport, keep things moving right along. All right, success, y'all. In our first batch of spinning platinum dust, we got 2 osmium, which is huge because that is going to allow us to make our enrichment chamber, finally, because we need the osmium for the steel casing. And once we have an enrichment chamber, all of our enriching processes, all that stuff I was talking about with those quantum doohickeys, these things here, your quantum mechanisms, we'll be able to automate all of these processes because everything beneath this tier that requires all of these other ones will be able to use the enrichment chamber to enrich those things and make them go so much further. So 1 obsidian dust gives you like next to nothing, but if you go to the enriched, it's 80 and it's 10 per the dust. So 1 dust turns into 80 just being processed in an enrichment chamber. So all of that's going to stretch our resources farther, put less strain on our resource gen, and allow us to progress further in the pack with automated resources. So this is a big win for us. Going to keep spinning down this platinum, hoping to get osmium. I am going to go ahead and let's smelt up this osmium. So the osmium's a little different to smelt it. We're going to need some of the stuff from... added the waterlogged sieve. We're going to need some of the stuff from here, this stuff. So I'm just going to take a whole stack of the ever-burning air, and this is what's needed to smelt this stuff in an arc furnace. So if we toss that in there with our 2 osmium dust, made some more springoline infused desh in between episodes. So let's let this smelt up. I'll be back when it's done. The arc furnace finished smelting our 2 osmium ingots. That is so that we can finally get into our enrichment chamber. So let's check in our storage here and see if we're missing anything else. We are missing nothing to make our steel casing. I'm actually going to go ahead and just make 2 of them because we're going to need them for things. Put 1 in storage. Now, we're missing an electron tube, which we do have access to rose quartz now if we want to make it, or we can just make some more of this redstone glass in the induction smelter, which is probably easier. So I'm going to make that up. I'll get the ingredients together and be right back. All right, so we are 1 short on our basic control circuits, but those basic control circuits are part of the reason why we made this multi-block structure. So I am going to come over here and we are going to put a bucket of mineral resin in here. And then if we give it these 2, this is part of the reason why we made this machine. We are going to be able to craft those super simple now. And then the only other thing we would need to do is get our mineral resin out of there. But for the sake of time, I will do that later. So now we can craft up our enrichment chamber. This is a big one for all the automation we've been talking about. When we take this and we stick it on some power, we're going to be able to take our coal, for example, that we've been having to just get 10 millibuckets out of to enrich our steel. And when we stick it in here, we're going to get 80 out of each one instead of 10. It's going to stretch everything so much farther. We're going to be able to do this for diamonds. We're going to be able to do it for enriched redstone. It's going to be good. So give me a few minutes to get some things together. I'm going to enrich up a bunch of materials, and we will continue on with the rest of today's episode. All right, y'all. So moving right along, I thought that we were going to have to make a thermal evaporation chamber from mechanism for our brine, which will still, in theory, make brine. The recipe's there, it shows it. But it looks like they want us to go chemical oxidizer and salt, which is fine because we're getting a ton of salt from our sifting and really don't have any use for it. So let's see if we have the materials to make our chemical oxidizer. In between clips, I just been processing stuff, y'all. I've been making enriched, like refined obsidian dust. I have been letting my centrifugal separator work on making us more osmium and platinum. I've been smelting up the platinum and tossing it in here and just recycling it. Just been milling about getting things done around the base. I will work on a more permanent setup for that. We're going to need a ton more enrichment chambers and a ton more infusers before we can kind of set all that up automated. And we're going to need room for it. So I'm thinking that, this new island over there might be the perfect candidate, considering there's a lot of space underneath that surface where our rocket is. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about between now and tomorrow's episode, is kind of hopefully getting a chance to work on some of that. Let's see. What do we need for our chemical oxidizer? Okay, we need a tank. Cool. Got one of those. Need a personal chest, which I just need 2 barrels for, which we can do that. And let's make our... Actually, we probably had the chests. Either way, done now. Dynamic tanks we made for the rocket and had an extra couple. So there we go. Chemical oxidizer. That should allow us, with some power, to get gaseous brine going. So let's go ahead and get some salt in there and get our gaseous brine going. Yeah, let's see, we've got like over 2K salt sitting in storage. I wonder if we're voiding that. If so, let's go check real quick. We tossed an upgrade in here. We were voiding it. Oh yeah, that must have been off camera. Wooly realized it. Yeah, because I made a bunch of diamond upgrades. So yeah, we've been voiding salt. We probably should have been keeping, because I imagine this process isn't going to be that efficient at making the gaseous brine we need. Oh yeah, 1 salt is 10 millibuckets of gaseous brine. We may still need to make a thermal evaporation setup, y'all. It might just be a better option. But this is the path they gave us, so let's go down it and see how it goes. So the next thing is we're going to need to put the gaseous brine into a rotary condensator, which is not in our list here. Is it in our list here? PRC, purification chamber. Nope. Oh, there's the thermal evaporation thing. Okay, so this will let us make water into brine, brine into lithium. You probably want to have at least 2. So there is a quest here for making our thermal evaporation chamber. Actually, it looks like if you make the controller, it gives you everything for it. So do we deal with the rotary condensator? I think we need it for another process later on. So let's go ahead and do it this way. And then we'll also set up that thermal evaporation chamber, because I think this is just not going to be that great of a process right here. I mean, we aren't even up to a bucket of gaseous brine yet. Okay, so what does the rotary condensator take? No, this is not a rotary like in your Mazda RX-7. Wow. Okay. So we need that. A tank. A chemical tank. And 2 more basic control circuits. Oh boy, are we running low on quantum doohickeys? Yes, we are. All right, we're gonna need to get that process set up. I'll probably do that in between and then just show you guys. Sweet. 2 basic control circuits. Now, rotary condensator. This. Awesome. So we should be able to... let's break that. Grab out some power cables. Basic universals. And if we come up one more and put our rotary... Oh, it's got directionals. Shoot. Let's see. So if I tell you to output your gas to the left, you have output into here. Cool, and now you need power. And that is a hideous noise. Mechanism machines make the worst noises. Oh my gosh. So there we go. It's turning our gaseous brine into liquid brine for us, which then gets separated, and we need the chlorine for lots of stuff. We need that chlorine to be able to make all sorts of things, actually. That chlorine is going to get used for our digital storage. The chlorine is what's needed for our printed silicone. So you take regular silicone in a pressurized reaction chamber with the chlorine, and you get the chlorine from electrolytic separator on brine. So we really just want to let this kind of run and build us up some brine. We're going to need a stockpile of it. I will probably grab us a drawer and stick it here so we can get going, and then we'll play with the other one. We'll see if that thermal evaporation chamber, it should be faster than this. We'll see if the thermal evaporation chamber is within reach for us, and we'll try to get that set up. But then all we would have to do to get this brine out is we could either bucket it or stick another tank over there. Or in theory, if we set this up where we're going to use it, we could pipe it directly into the electrolytic separator, which would be the nice thing about this setup, is we could just export the salt to here. Then it goes into the condensator, then it goes into the separator, and then our stuff we need comes out of it. Really clean, 3 little blocks, 4 little blocks set up versus a thermal evaporation chamber, which is a multi-block structure. So, but the multi-block structure will likely be faster for us in the long run. All right, so what is next on today's agenda? We can go ahead and craft our Inscriber, so we have everything for that. Let me get it together. I'll craft it with you guys. Okay, here we are at our mechanical crafters once again. We meet again, mechanical crafters. I think that's the pattern. Hooray! Inscriber! By the way, this is still the same first bucket of force-infused biodiesel we stuck in here. Like, we have not even... I've made machine frames. We've only used a half. It's because I don't ever leave it running. I've remembered to shut that one off. So, let's see. The Inscriber is the next tier, which allows us to get to the printed logic circuit, but that is gated behind our need for chlorine. We already have the polyethylene. We're going to need chlorine and a pressurized reaction chamber, which we need another enrichment chamber for. Reactive quantum bedrock. Okay, never made that before, but we'll have to make it. Everything else is stuff we've made. So, I think I might have enough time in today's episode to get to this. Let me see, because no, we're not. I need to set up that automation. All right, we're going to hold off on moving into our logic circuits and our charged Certus quartz, because our charged Certus quartz, we need power, and for power, we need dielectric paste, and the dielectric paste, we need crude oil. And for the crude oil, we need the advanced machine frame. And for the advanced machine frame, we need pink slime. Everything else we have. So we get pink slime, in case you guys don't know. It comes from the mob slaughter factory from Industrial Foregoing. So let's see if we can make that. We might be able to get that going. Just a couple of axes, okay. I have a feeling we don't have enough swords, so let's just make two, just to be safe. And there we have it. Mob Slaughter Factory. That was easy. Now, I prepared for this forever ago. Feed. So we have a bag of cursed chicken feed, but somewhere we also have a bag of regular chicken feed. Not the cursed. We have the GM chicken feed. Just the plain Jane chicken feed. Is it in here? It's not in there. It's not in here. I know I haven't used it, and we bought one from that wandering trader. Where did it go? Found it. We've already blown up the chicken and gotten the golden egg. So what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a little area that we're going to give power to, and we're going to put down the Delightful Dirt. Delightful Dirt is going to spawn passive mobs for us automatically, just like the Dreadful Dirt does for hostile mobs. That passive mobs will then get fed and pushed into our mob slaughter factory, which I think by default only has like a 1x1 killing area, but that's fine. We can use vector plates to push the mobs to it. And then this is going to spit out two things, liquid meat and pink slime. All we really need today is the pink slime, but we'll just kind of set it up with tanks on either side that we can replace with ender tanks later on. So give me a minute to go get an area prepared for this, and this is how we will wrap up today's episode, is by slaying some mobs and getting some pink slime. All right, y'all, we're back. I built a crude and ugly spot for our passive mob farm right over here. I just threw down some dirt, spread it out. We built a 5x5 because if we right click this in the middle, ta-da, delightful dirt and mobs galore. I made ethereal glass, which we have in that mob farm, but we were given. It wasn't too bad to craft. I did forget that this stuff grows grass that we're going to have to deal with. So I'll have to figure out a method for clearing the grass. Maybe we can use a pedestal for that. Not exactly sure. So now we need to kill all these mobs constantly. So this thing needs power. This is just the mob slaughter factory. It has two faces. It's really easy to tell them apart because one of them looks like a meat grinder and the other side doesn't. The meat grinder faces the mobs you want to kill. We configured each side to push the fluids only on one side. And so if we grab a GPS data card here and we hop, skip, and jump over to our power, we should be able to toss this data card in. And then by the time we can get back to our mob farm, which we're going to need another teleportation thing to, so we don't have to run this way. So now any mob that goes in here, as you can see, we've already got some pink slime and some liquid meat. Oh, I know what'll prevent the grass. These things. So we're going to use vector plates to push our mobs. So if I just can get in here and we hold shift so it doesn't move us, we should be able to place these. If I can get this sheep out of... Move your fat behind. I know that you figured out I'm going to kill you, but, you know, that's life. You're at the bottom of the food chain. Okay. Now, hopefully, this will allow us to continue to get mobs killed in here for us and generate pink slime. But as you can see, we're already up to 2 buckets of pink slime. Not very much liquid meat, but this is what we're after. That is going to bring us to the end of today's episode. Sorry, that was really close, all up in my face. This is Editing Wooly, interrupting this because I realized I told y'all I was going to do something this episode, and I totally forgot it. So here we are, on our way to space. We're going to put our matter receiver in the space station, which I think we get for free. So let us get up here to orbit, and we will head to that space station to wrap up today's episode, and then I'll return you to the outro by the Pink Slime Mob Farm. So, solar system, Earth, and it says that space station recipe disabled, just enter orbit for a free space station. So, orbit. Let's see what happens. Task completed. Oh, we do still have to land. Let's not smash into our space station and destroy our rocket, which would suck. All right, can we land without blowing up? Yes, we can. Ooh, this space station's actually kind of nice. I did not remember to bring a launch pad with me, but that's cool because we have a way to get home in our charged porter right here. So this is nifty. They give us a space station with like doors. I guess we can make like airlocks and make breathable areas up here. Ooh, this is spiffy. Okay, let's just pick this room, for example, because there's lots of processes that we're going to have to do in orbit. So let's grab out this. Did I bring peat? Oh my God, I didn't bring peat with me. It's okay. We should be able to get back up here, hopefully. If not, we'll launch a rocket again. So, matter receiver, we're going to need our peat generator. Ooh, yeah, no gravity. Peat generator right there. Matter receiver on top of it. Is this room tall enough that we won't, like, suffocate in space when we come in? Yes, cool. All right, so this needs power. Did I bring the peat with me? I did. Look at that. Wooly is smart. Okay, so we will stick our peat in here. We're going to name this Earth Space Station, because there are orbits of all of our planets. And now we don't want to set our charge porter to it, but I don't recall whether I showed you guys this other setup from before. So let me get our rocket so that we can get back up here again. If we need to via rocket. This is now set. And if we start our teleportation home, I set up a dialer and a matter transmitter right over here. And so now if we want to go to that space station, we can hit Earth Space Station. And if I hit dial, we are going to be able to instantaneously get back up here. And so we will always have our cooldown of our charge porter to wait on or whatever. However, we can always just come up here, do what we need to do in space, and then we can use our charge porter, and it doesn't have enough energy to get us back home, so we will just slash home. But there we have it. So now we can get to and from our space station. So we got quite a bit accomplished today, and this pink slime is going to open the door for our next bit of progression, which is down the road of everything that requires the advanced machine frames. So we need the advanced machine frames, which are a step above the simple, which are made in the dissolution chamber with latex. Then we're going to need to make these in a dissolution chamber with pink slime. You can see where this is going to land. Eventually, you'll have an automated setup for each of the different types of slimes and infusions to get us where we need to be. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Look at that. I didn't even plan it. There's a sunset. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. And if you have, please consider hitting that like button for me. And if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe, because statistics say that like 72% of you guys that watch my stuff aren't subscribed, but you're watching it. So if you keep coming back and you're not already subscribed, just click it for me. It'll help out. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.